classes in session. This is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and TradeFly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy. It's all going down. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm coming at you live from the U.S. Virgin Islands, enjoying my vacation, feeling quite young on this vacay. But hey, Bitcoin struggling with $68,000, Ethereum holding just about 3,500. A dog with hat going for $4.3 million as an NFT, and a call for $150,000 Bitcoin while Solana continues to pump. Guys, it's time. Class is in session. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. This is the show where we bring you the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Guys, welcome. It is Monday. We're kicking off the week. Some things are moving around, but some things got rocked this weekend. You want to know what really got rocked, though? That would be one of my co-hosts, TradeFly, who celebrated a little too hard yesterday for St. Patrick's Day. Let's go ahead and bring the co-host on. Fellas, what's up, guys? TradeFly,
what's going on, guys?
Are you alive?
Yeah, I told you it was a modern day miracle that I made it this morning. But I got my bougie coffee, and I am ready to kick it. We got a lot to talk about. I'm super excited as always. And don't worry, when the cutscene's out, I'm gonna be eating my breakfast too. So
that's good. That's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. OC, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Not much, just enjoying life, back with fiber, and everything should be gravy. AVAX has been pumping so hard, and I'm just so happy.
Avalanche is doing great. Solana is doing great. So other ones, other markets, not so much. So Crypto Trades said Piper looking real Miami right now. I got my boomer Hawaiian type shirt on here. My nice Tommy Bahama knit. I'm got a virtual cam here, but if I look out my window right there, I see practically the same thing. We're right at the beach here. Put a picture up yesterday on X about it. So I was sitting there having some chili lime tacos and some fried conch fritters and a rum bushwhacker drink. I don't remember what it was called, but it was delicious, and I was watching the beach. And my wife and I were we think we saw one of the beach goers here, because it's a private beach here at the resort, topless, swimming in the beach. So that was quite interesting dinner view. So, but yeah,
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. Is there more? Is there pictures, Piper? No, there's no pictures. But yeah, great time down here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It took like 24 hours for us to get here, because we had a layover and we had to sleep at the terminal, but we had minute suites, so it was a bed. We got to lay down and sleep, so that was good. But yeah, I'm ready, man. Markets doing some stuff today, guys. So let's go ahead and bring over the news. Let's do that first. And by the way, shout out to all the alumni. I'm glad I'm here with you guys.
Alumni,
I got the
you
internet,
know what I
so.
mean?
You know it. That is my alumni. Guys, I saw this quote. This was put out by Bethany Armstrong. For those that don't know, she's the illustrious and ever resilient, soon to be very rich wife of Ben Armstrong. So she put out this tweet yesterday, and it says, when life gives you lemons, exchange them for coffee beans. I thought that was a great little quote there. And so leads right into it. Guys, go check out Legendary Aviation Coffee. If you want the best coffee beans, that's where you guys need to get your coffee. And that's who sponsors today's show, Legendary Aviation Coffee. I'm getting one of these hats. I'm telling you right now, I'm getting one of these hats. So let's jump into the crypto bubbles here, guys. 29.3% on the daily right now is dog with hat, the WIF token. If you can smell what the crypto is cooking, it's gains on that token right there. So that is what's going on there. Solana up 8.6%. Jupiter token up 18.6%. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is a meme token on the Solana network. So there you go. PYTH up 9.5%, but Avalanche up 14.1%. It is actually kicking Solana's tail right now, but the Soul Train can't be stopped. That is today's thumbnail. So Let's go down here and take a look at what's happened recently, guys. I see a lot of red coming in here on the hourly right now, getting some pullback. Do have some things coming in with the red on the daily here. You can see that daily right there. And on the weekly, we still have some red for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. Ethereum down 11.6% on the weekly right now. Solana is now sitting number 4 on the charts. It is up to 0.2% in the past hour and up 8.6 for the day, 38.3% for the week. Man, look at that annual 842% run on Solana for the year. Guys, interesting little thing here. Doge has dropped down to number 10 on the total market here. Avalanche moving up to number 9, taking that position from Doge there. And then, interestingly enough, if you come down here and we look at Cardano, it's actually here. Cardano is sitting at number 8, Avalanche at number 9. But if you go to the crypto CoinGecko, you'll see that Coinbase was taken over by Avalanche. So little interesting flip there, depending on which one you're on, Avalanche or Cardano in that 8th position there. So what else do we have here? Chainlink moving up to number 14, up 5.3% on the daily, down about 0.8%, continuing to cool off like everything else is doing right now. But yeah, guys, let's jump over here. Look at these liquidations. Got to look at the liquidations, guys. If we take a look here right now on the 24-hour, we can see that total liquidations coming in at $207 million. In the past 24 hours, 80,588 traders were liquidated. The largest single liquidation happened on Bybit. It was Bitcoin. It was for $5.65 million. So that's what we have going on there. Let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. We are 33 days away. We're going to be looking at this countdown quite a bit, because as we get into this final 30 days, guys, it's happening. The halving event is here. This is typically when we will go back and conquer all-time highs and then pump and rally parabolically. That's already happened. So this is going to be an interesting halving event. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, guys. Let's jump over here. Take a look. I want to go back here to this on X marks the spot. I've got some other bookmarks here that I want to show. And it was going to be the Fear and Greed coming in at 77 right now, still sitting in extreme greed. Guys, this week for the calendar, we have the key events for the week. It's going to be Tuesday, starting out with housing data on tomorrow. Fed interest rate decision will be on Wednesday, guys. This is when we're going to find out. Are we going to see rate cuts, or are we going to see a pause, continuation of the pause? Right now, it's looking like less than a 2% chance for a rate cut. It is about 1% right now, so that's what we're seeing there. Then we get the big one. Guys, we already know everything. Everybody's cooking in what they know right now. That is that we are not going to get a rate hike or a rate cut. But what we don't know is what is going to come out of Jerome Powell's mouth, and that is going to be the Fed press conference here that happens right after it. I believe it's 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We get the rate numbers, and then at 2:30 on the East Coast, we will get Jerome Powell talking it up and speaking. Depends on if he's hawkish or dovish, and the markets will get some action from that. So typically we get more action from his speech than what we do from the actual rate decision. Thursday, we're going to get that Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and then existing home sales. And then finally, we have another Chairman Jerome Powell, another Jay Powell speech going on there. So that's what is going on there. A couple of other things that I had here in the X marks the spot. Let's get back to that. Come here, sir. Thank you very much. There was this, guys, and there's a whole article talking about this, about Rex Capital. But he had a really interesting one here that I wanted to point out and show, because we've been talking about this in Piper Academy for a hot minute, ever since I did that Bitcoin price prediction video over Infinite Crypto. So it said, when could Bitcoin peak in this bull market? And he said, historically, Bitcoin has peaked in its bull market 518 to 546 days after the halving. However, Bitcoin has already done this, right? And so he said, if we measure the bull market peaks from the moment an all-time high is breached, which already happened, then this perspective suggests that Bitcoin would perform a bull market top 266 to 315 days later from the moment it broke the all-time high. He's looking at it the same way that I've been calling it now for a couple of weeks, and that is that we may see the peak of this bull run being sometime around December 2024 to February 2025, guys. I've been the only one saying this for 2 weeks now. Rect Capital has obviously went in and did his analytics on it. we are seeing that this cycle may not be a quarter 3, quarter 4, 2025 like we have seen in the past because of how quickly we broke the all-time high. If you go back and look at the historics on it, that's what we have here. Rect Capital calling out the same thing right there on his chart yesterday. He did that. So I just wanted to bring that to light because it is relevant to look at it, all perspectives when you're doing this data analysis, and you got to go off of that. And that's what we're having there right now, is showing that. So, and for those that don't know, the meme coins, guys, I got to show you this. Solana meme coins have been popping off left and right, and everybody's throwing money into them. Well, this guy here, he got a $10 million. He raised $10 million for another meme coin that was coming out, and then accidentally burnt all of the tokens, and there's nothing he can do to fix it. So he just basically said, guys, I effed up. Oops, it happened. $10 million just gone like that from someone not knowing what they're doing. So guys, be very careful out there. The meme coins, yeah, they're popping off, but some of these projects, you got amateurs. We're at the point everyone wants to talk about what is going on in the big world of crypto with institutional. Like, we're adults now. There's still children playing in the space. Be careful out there. That is what I got there for that. And then we talked about the CME right now, looking at a 99% chance of no change. This is going to be this Wednesday, guys. So be ready for that. And there you go. I'll give you the little headline there. We won't talk about it, but we're going to go back to Trio Cam. But guys, dog with hat, meme coins, iconic photo, sold as NFT for $4.3 million. That cute little guy there. So let's go back to Trio Cam. Let's talk about what we're seeing in the charts. Like, guys, what are you thinking is going on right now with all of this news? Like especially Rect Capital. When I saw that post on X, I was like, hey, I've been saying this for like weeks now, and so I'm not the only one. Finally, someone else is seeing the same thing I saw. I'm not crazy. So when you get affirmation of what you see on charts, yes, it can create that confirmation bias. But right now, I do think it's a relevant thing. We have to look at the date time of when all-time highs are broken historically. Falls in my ballpark. I said January, February. He says December to February. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? We'll go TradeFly first. What you got there, Hangover?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of on board with that. I don't know if you remember when you asked me the time frame on when I was expecting that move. I said the end of the year was my prediction. So 2024 was what I was thinking, but I definitely didn't articulate it that well, and I didn't have all of the science, we'll say, to back it up. But I'm just simply kind of drawing lines and be like, hey, where can we go? And just thinking about it rationally. At some point, when you get that big push up, you're gonna have to pull back. So that it's a different way of getting to the same place. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that playing out.
Yeah, absolutely. OC, your thoughts on this, man? What do you think? Are we going to see a shortened cycle? Like, everyone keeps talking super cycle. That was your prediction also, was when it was a super cycle scenario. So what's your thoughts on this with Rect Capital? This was, he was a little more aligned with TradeFly's, not so much yours. I'd like to hear your input.
Well, I believe that the only thing that we could be missing here, and again, I'm going to be repeating the same thing that I repeated on the analysis, is not because my $500,000 analysis is still up there. I'm just going to be holding and keep buying. I'm going to be reacting to the market, and every single candle is new data that I'm going to be acting upon that new data, right? Other than that, I need to stick with what my charts are telling me. But still trading the market. I believe that we're not taking into consideration that right now we're making that movement into real money, real value, Bitcoin into the real role. Because so far, I mean, Bitcoin is just a toy for for all of the big players in the world, right? But now that we have the ETF, not only one ETF, also El Salvador is been buying one Bitcoin every single day till the halving event. I mean, we're going to be having also the halving event with a shock supply that we know is going to happen. I believe that we're going to be having that top that we're talking about, like early top, and then a possible retracement. And I do expect a big retracement, and I'm going to say that big with quotations. And then, but still, the backup data from the ETF. And let me bring up one point. you and I can buy that ETF, right? So I believe that retail, which actually is the one that can move the markets, we can be following in with both actual Bitcoin and ETF, and we're gonna be going for that extended period. I'm still on my horse on that extended period, but I'll be quick to act whenever I see a possible reversal.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Be prepared, right? Be prepared for any scenario. We don't put out these scenarios to you guys so that you guys, have to be ramped up or stressed out. It's so that you can have contingency plans. Lay them all out. We call them in the military, we call them COAs, courses of action. Lay out your COAs and see what's most likely, most dangerous, and then, have plans for all of them. That's how you survive the markets. That's how you survive combat. We are at war here. We are making gains. This is what we're doing. We're fighting for every dollar, every inch of this battlefield. Let's go. Shout out
Man,
to
just hit y'all
Lunar
with
Beaches
ML Koa and
Crypto.
MD Koa.
I did.
That's
I
hilarious.
just hit that ML Koa on
Yeah,
him,
you
bro.
did. Yeah, you did.
Shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. Shout out to Investing Bros. And shout out to Trade Intuition, all in the chat right now, partners of the channel here. Guys, today, if you see Alex O Crypto drop in here, you guys need to give him a happy birthday. Today is Alex O Crypto's birthday, so shout out to Alex O Crypto. And he's going to be doing a birthday live stream today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys drop in over there and wish him a happy birthday, man. That's my boy Alex holding it down for me. I'm even using Alex O Orange here on my frame because he's just a regular here now. That's how it goes. Let's get into the charts, guys. Let's go do that, and let's see what we got going on in the charts. I do want to point out some things on Bitcoin. So let's get over here and see what's happening with old Biddy.
Actually, real
And
quick,
then,
TradeFly, you want to show the liquidation heat map?
Oh yeah.
Sure,
Good
man.
calls, ETS in the background. Yeah, bring up that heat map first, bro.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. So you can see, I mean, there's a massive area of yellow here, and there's, I mean, close to more than $1 billion sitting up here, just over the high, right? So a lot of people are banking on Bitcoin moving down. That's obviously where a lot of people are putting their money right now, are probably in shorts. So let's go ahead and let's go back to about a month, and let's see where else we can find some liquidity. Well, there you go. You got a massive area down here. That's all the way at about 50K though. Haven't heard too many people talking about 50K, but I hear a lot of people talking about 60K, and you can see it's kind of wide open if it does move down in this area. But yeah, I mean, the hot spot's really down here at 50K and then at about 75K. What do I think, analysis wise, based on that? Like, I don't think we have anything like too close. We're going to see any crazy wicks right now. Usually I like to see the price a little bit closer to be like, hey, like we could see a nice wick up. But we're talking about all-time highs right now too. So like, it's going to be tough to go get that liquidity that's up on the high side right now. So, it's not a whole lot to take away from this. I will squawk, don't you worry. You will hear me in the Discord for sure saying, hey, watch out for this zone when I think we're going to make a movement towards that area for sure though. And man, it looks like Bitcoin's getting punched in the face right now. So why don't we go ahead and get over to your charts, man? Because it's not looking pretty.
Yeah, let's jump in here and take a look, guys. So first off, I want to refresh everyone's memory, and if it's the first time seeing it, I did a trend-based fib extension, and it's based off of, you do 3 points on it, a low to a higher low. That is these 3 points right here, and that is what the basis is of this of these fib-based trend extensions. Let's bring this into the 4 hour, see how this is playing out for us right now. Guys, we are in the platinum pocket. That's where we got rejected almost at the top on the 887 perfectly on this. We pulled back down. You can see we did have a good retest here of the golden pocket, giving us that little bounce there, confirmation that the sequencing is right. Right now, guys, we are fighting to hold that 786 on here. And if you look at this little point right here, I got to show you something. Shout out to Chart Prime. If you guys don't have it, check the link down below in the description. Gift yourself 45% off of this amazing indicator. Watch this, guys. Let's throw this bad boy on the 4 hour and look at that perfect bounce in the dynamic reactor. That is what, when you're looking at this, you're like, what did we bounce on? There's nothing there. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. It was the dynamic reactor, the best indicator suite in the market, giving you that perfect entry for a nice little scalp long there. Right now, we're fighting with the 786, trying to keep our way up there. We are underneath this also auto-printed trend line that comes in here, and you can see this comes all the way from back here, coming all the way up through there on the 4 hour. Right now, we're below that also. So, matter of fact, if you extend that out, it looks like, if I can draw better, it looks like we may have gotten that bounce right off of that for that rejection too. Holding the 786 is going to be vital for me, guys. I personally think that if we don't hold this, we could be looking at a little bit of trouble. But overall, how do I feel about Bitcoin? I think we're going to see a higher end this week because right now it's shakeout. Everyone goes risk off in preparation for Jerome Powell. We're within 48 hours-ish in that ballpark. Jerome Powell coming out, opening his mouth and saying something that could be very hawkish and just pull everything back down in a vacuum. If we do pull back and we lose this 786, guys, watch for this dynamic reactor currently coming in at about $65,000 right now. Might be another good bounce point for another quick scalp there. Also, if we look at the oscillators, right now the Oscillator Pro is giving us a nice little pinch here on the zero line. Looks like this could be a rejection of the zero line to bring us back down into the bull zone at the bottom here. We are starting to get a red candle on the RSI primed. All of that is bearish. And then if we pull up here, there's an article that actually talks about this. Bitcoin approaches risky territory as halving event draws near. This is from the guy I just talked about earlier, Rect Capital on X. He says Bitcoin is poised for the danger zone ahead of the halving event. Guys, like I showed you on the thing, this is all coming together now, right? 33 days away from the halving that I showed you. Talked about Rect Capital. Here's Rect Capital's thesis on the danger zone. And I'm going to bring this into focus here so you guys can see what this is saying. But he shows the pullbacks in this red zone. This is the danger zone, according to Rect Capital, that takes place around the halving. It started to pull back a few days before, 35 days before, 35 days before, another pullback there again. That was first one was 40%, 40.5. The second one was 19.5%. This one here, he's watching it. We are getting ready to hit that danger zone, and he's looking for another pullback here. So really, it's been big percentages, but Bitcoin price has witnessed a pullback of about 40% and advanced to 2016 halving. Meanwhile, 2020, it fell about 40% before the occasion. He's saying that we could have this within 14 to 28 days before the halving, and that is what we're going to be watching there. That is that danger zone. You can go ahead and bring us back to TriCam. Let's talk about this, guys. We're seeing resistance. We're seeing this pullback. We are in the platinum pocket. Platinum pocket is typically where we see retracements once we break through the golden pocket. If we break through the golden pocket, don't get a retracement there. We typically do get it at the platinum pocket, currently where we are right now. It fits. It matches up. It's matchy-matchy, right? It may not always rhyme, but it definitely sounds the same, right? And right now, that's the window we're in. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Are we going to see this typical pullback or in this danger zone that we're in right now? Love to hear you guys' thoughts. OC,
Yeah, man. I mean, first. I'm going to say...
Or TradeFly. Whoever.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just jumped on it, man. Just dominance. Here we go.
Go for it, Hangover.
Yeah. So when it gets up in the area, like we start getting into the all-time high, we are in a danger zone anyways. Like you guys have heard me before, you get up to an all-time high. A lot of times I'm going to tell you, hey, that's my no-no zone, right? Like I'm not going to keep going long when we're getting into an all-time high. So for us to pull back, not only does it fit the narrative that you're actually talking about right now, but it also it's normal to have that cool off, that pullback, to find some kind of consolidation before we make that next move. So now you're adding the narrative of we're getting to like pre-halving. So yeah, like for it to pull back is very, very realistic. That's why, you'll hear me start talking about like, start thinking about profits, start, thinking about enjoying those profits at this time because you're at an all-time high. I would anticipate some kind of pullback. And the fun thing about this is, even if you guys take profits now, again, think about your tax game, but you can get back in. So let's say we go back up to an all-time high and we actually break through that again. You can get back in. You're not going to be out that much. Like, so that's, it's I would probably anticipate a little bit of a pullback personally. But that's just me.
OC, your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, I'm very aligned with the same thing that is mentioning. I mean, I don't think that this will be so significant. Nonetheless, I've been just taking advantage of these pullbacks to get back in. In fact, I just had also AVAX super ADA, BTC again. I mean, jumping in. So it's just a regular market movement. And again, we're still pretty bullish overall. And I believe that this is a great opportunity. Nonetheless, let's just keep it up with being careful on the markets, because we don't know when we're going to be getting kind of like that scam week, like Alex on crypto mentions, right? So we just need to be a little bit careful there.
Yeah, no, for
All right,
sure. I mean, DCA
I agree.
opportunities at a minimum, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what you're seeing on Bitcoin TradeFly. Let's go to your charts. We're taking a look at yours and OCs, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the Standard Charter call for $150,000 Bitcoin this year. We'll go ahead and take a look at that after you guys do your charts. Let's go.
Sweet. So I actually have an educational opportunity for you guys. Tell me, what are these blue dots here? Because these blue dots have been money. I went back and started looking at it on the 4-hour, and you'll see this blue dot print. We made a huge move up. Then you see this blue dot print here at the freaking high, almost nails it. Then it pulls back, and then you see a blue dot right here where you have the bullish divergence on the 4-hour. So for you guys,
somebody
the
in chat,
chart
let us know
prime
what that is, please. Somebody in
extraordinaires.
chat, let us know what that is.
Yeah, teach TradeFly how to use the indicator, would you? But it's been money.
I want to see if anybody in the chat knows what it is, but that indicator actually has a name.
Yeah. Well,
it is called the Peak Seeker.
The Peak Seeker. Okay, well, the Peak Seeker is a
literally,
freaking
that's what it's called.
heat-seeking
Jay
missile.
has it right there. Mr. J said Peak Seeker. It is the Peak Seeker. It literally takes in all the algorithmic data, and then it says this is a top or a bottom peak, depending on if it's at the top or the bottom of the pro oscillator. So there you go.
Yo,
it indicates reversals.
I'm literally gonna set up an alert on that thing, because the Peak Seeker is freaking worth its weight in gold right here, man. So if you guys don't have chart prime and you need a reason, this blue dot is a reason. I was just literally going back and looking at it, and this thing, mad gains if you were playing it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We've had a couple things that we've talked about, right? We did point out here that we were seeing some bearish divergence in correlation with getting up to the all-time high. It did have the pullback. You got the Peak Seeker print there, and then sure enough, it pulls back, right? So we talked about a couple key areas in here. So this was one area that you wanted to see it hold, and it did not. So it fell through. It actually came back up, and it retested that area. So what was support turned into resistance, and that's why I now have the red line here. And then we had another area. I was like, hey, let's keep an eye on this area right here. You see this wick, and then you come back over and look at it. You see some support. But the thing that I was more, excited about was the dynamic reactor. And, Army, Piper already pointed it out. Like, we got that support level right there off of the dynamic reactor. And like he said, there was nothing really there of substance. Besides, potentially, if you really want to stretch it, you could say that this area on this one wick was showing you potentially a little bit of resistance there. But I mean, it bounced right off of it. So again, another shill. But what I was concerned about once we got that support off of the dynamic reactor was that we were going to then mess with all these moving averages. So if you guys remember from last week, I was like, hey, if it moves into this area, you're dealing with all of this. Now you have the 20, you got the 100-day, and there's confluence there, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a battle, we'll say, in this area right here. What do? We come down and we try to find what are our oscillators telling us? Well, you can see the movement up and right. So bullish overall, but what do we see? It looks like it wants to bend over and kind of head back in the opposite direction. So, this is an area where this is your entry for sure. And we pointed that out in the Discord. I actually put on the Twitter as well. And I was like, hey, there's bullish divergence on Bitcoin 4-hour. That was an area to look for. So now that we've made the move up and right, like, I'm going to say it's kind of, I'm a wait and see approach now, right? Because we could pull back here and we could retest this area definitely, or we can move up. So it's like, I'm not giving you much substance here. Hey, we can go either way. Yeah, because we're kind of in a decision zone for me personally. So I would just kind of wait it out and see if it breaks. You do see we are starting to form a little set of lower highs. So that's not promising. If you're just zooming out, overall trend bullish, short term, I would say you're probably looking towards some consolidation here in this area. So that's kind of my call right now for Bitcoin is I'm not looking for a lot of movement. I'm looking for it to find a range, and we kind of need that. I've been asking for that for quite some time, even though by all means it's been great. It's been going up and right, but like we got to find a range because that's for me, that's when I get excited and I like to start making my trades. But bullish divergence here was definitely an area for me.
Yep, absolutely. Also, shout Mod Queen. She dropped the link there for Chart Prime, so if you guys are interested, you guys can pick that up. They get 45% off. It's the biggest discount in the industry. Also, go over to OC's chart because he's got some Bitcoin to talk about. Also, ZTS. And someone just said here, it was Crypto Trades. He said if you get Chart Prime, you get OC training. OC and Alex O Crypto, if you guys don't know, are instructors for Chart Prime, and they do 5 classes or 7 classes a week. I think it is 5 days. No, 6 days a week, and it's 8 classes a week. So, and they're live and they're free, and it's just, you know, amazing education you get over there with that also as part of the subscription. So, OC, give us a lesson on what you see on Bitcoin right now, though. Let's go.
Absolutely. First of all, let me send a shout out, a huge also hug to Crypto Trades. What is up, brother? Miss you on the charts, miss you in the chat, and also miss you on your occasional drops into the classes. Hopefully, you can make it back sometime when you have some time available.
He's dropping trades all the time in our Discord, just so you know. He's in there dropping trades now. He's dropping them like they're hot, like they're bombs.
He's doing like that, like the salt, right? He's pushes those.
Yes.
Beautiful trades, yes. Love it. So I got a couple of things in here going on, very exciting things. By the way, just so you know, I also took my AVAX trade out. I'm out 50%, just holding the other 50%, moving my stop loss to the upside. Nonetheless, let's just take a look at Bitcoin. We've been looking at the dynamic reactor projection all the way back here since this overbought has happened. Also, we were measuring this possible target. Remember, also, we have another target. We're going to be visiting that in a second. And this target hit, we had that overbought. We have that peak seeker. Look at that, just like TradeFly was mentioning. And then we broke through the zero line in here. And finally, my trend line there, basically duping us for that setup. It's not about a breakout. It's about the retest, beautiful retest, going back down to the dynamic reactor and then going back up into our range between the support and resistance. Where are these support and resistance? You see them, they're manual, but I got them on the daily, and trading view is not working for me, but it is part of my VPVR. Oh no, where is it? Sorry. Where is it? Here we go. Volume profile on my market dynamics, bro. And I repeat this areas, and something important that I'm watching here, it is a possible inverse head and shoulder being playing out here. So this area right down here at 66 or 67K will be very, very important not to lose it in order to keep going up, and then of course breaking the 68,900. So that is something to be looking on the look for a continuation. And we have something important, which is also a bullish divergence. We have a reversal, and also we have an oversold here with a bullish divergence rolling right to that dynamic reactor. So shout out to you guys if you entered into that trade. This was my previous trade. I'm still holding it, and I'm still just waiting for that movement to the upside. Nonetheless, we are right at the zero line. We could be seeing a flip down. If we see that flip down or flip off the ribbon and we lose this area at 66,967, I think we're gonna go visit this this dynamic reactor, which will be confirming our YCAF pattern in here, going down, little range, V-shaped recovery, overextension up, overextension down, making that range, and that gave us a 70% chances of ranging. And we can see that even on the 15 minutes that we've been following for that YCAF pattern, basically calling for the overextension range, which by the way, I fell a little bit short on that overextension. But so far, we have the range, V-shaped recovery, high, not higher, and we have our 70% range playing out there. Just to wrap it up on Bitcoin, I want to go to our expectancy of retracement. As you can see, it was nailed on before that 30%. Sorry, for that 8%, 8 to 9%. And then we went to find dynamic reactors. Currently, I have right here a sell signal, which is on my 43 signal, and also talking about printing money. By the way, that's a figurative analysis. Just like the blue dots, we also have the MP signals. Look at that beautiful MP signals, max profits, as we go down and find some support. Remember to use those signals on Confluence. On something else, I usually advise use 1 to 3 indicators. Sorry, 3 onwards indicators before committing to a possible entry. Yeah, that's what I see on Bitcoin. Trying it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. So that max profit, I know Alex O, and I believe it is Lunar Beaches. I believe I know TradeFly does too. They like to use those as reverse indicators. They will, when they see that max profit hit, they will use it as a reverse confluence and go, hey, it's time to go the other direction and hit a long or a short, depending on if it's at the top or the bottom. So, yeah, it's a good indicator also. Let's jump over to my screen right now, and because we talked about all this Bitcoin and everything, but let's talk about long term. What are we looking at here? Like, what are we really here for, guys? Standard Charter raises Bitcoin price target to $150,000 by the end of this year. Quick take, Standard Chartered Bank has raised its Bitcoin price prediction target to 150,000 from its previous estimate of 100,000. So this just happened. They came out and they said, we're not bullish enough. And they raised it to 150K. The new target comes from a continued strong inflows and recently launched spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, ETFs in the United States. For 2024, given the sharper than expected price gain for year to date, we now see the potential for the Bitcoin price to reach $150,000 level by year end, up from our previous estimate of 100K there. The inflows are outpacing Bitcoin derivatives open interest growth. This means that while open interest measures are approaching stretched 2021 levels, overall positioning should be more sustained this time, so it's more sustainable because there's a floor. We've talked about this market floor that is being built by these ETFs. Most of the inflows are likely to be sticky pension type flows, which means they're not tending to sell those off very much. Eric Wallen just discussed this in our Discord the other day. On Sunday, I believe it was, he was talking about it, and he said, or Saturday, it was on Saturday. Yeah, we did X Spaces on Discord because we were having issues with X. And he said, look, a lot of this is retirement money. They're not likely to sell it off. So that is what we're seeing there. Let's go ahead, guys. Let us know in the chat what you guys would like to see us do some TA on, and we'll start doing those. But I'm going to kick it over here in a second as soon as I make an announcement. Go to the TriCam. Please, thanks. Right after today's show, guys, Crux's curriculum, Crux of Crypto, is going to be releasing right here on Piper Academy his Bitcoin video where he's giving it a GPA, grading the entire thing, and that is going to be premiering right after this. So don't miss that. But TradeFly, I need you to get the Soul Train ready for us and show us what you're seeing on Solana, because that's the thumbnail today. Let's talk about Solana.
All right, I'll bring it up. So, alrighty. Well,
Bam, there we go.
rocket shot. So, what do you want me to do here? This thing's taking off to the moon. So let me actually go to the daily
we're over
here.
200.
And
We can talk.
yeah,
There's that one right off the bat. We broke 200.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: Solana,
to the moon. All right.
Solana is now my third largest bag in my portfolio, and it was not anywhere near my third largest purchase. So it has just absolutely accumulated and is now pushing up on my Ethereum bag going, I'm going to need you to get out of my seat, please. So
yeah, so I mean, dude, it's just taken off. So I know I talked about the 200 area. That was kind of my psychological number. I could see some areas of resistance just going way back on the charts, but like this thing is just, it's nutty right now. I mean, it's just taking off. There's no stopping it. And one thing we did talk about on the last show was like, hey, Bitcoin was pulling back. All the altcoins were pulling back, but Sol was actually inverse of the market. So that showed me there was a lot of strength in Sol. We're up over the 200 mark, man. So like it's really hard to say like, what are we going to do from here? Because, you know, you would anticipate a pullback at some point. And we saw you know, it kind of worked in this area when it was at about 123, came back, kind of tested it as support, and then it's just since then been taken off and coming back left on the chart. Like you can see, like we got to start talking about numbers up in the area of 218 to 42. Like if you're just going to do horizontal levels of support and resistance, but at this point, like it's going to be tough to even feed you guys that, because this thing is now moving based on, you know, I'm not going to say speculation, but it's got a lot of hype behind it, right? So understand that retail is moving the market as well. So it's not, you know, to give you some kind of traditional TA, I could sit here and do a trend, a fib extension, but like you can see, it's already made it past that, right? We've already outpaced that as well. And just if you're looking at it, like this is one of those areas where I say be careful. And if you're in Sol, then congratulations, like you've done very, very well. But make sure you lock some profits in. You know, I don't know that it's going to pull back very hard, you know, because it's been pushing up. Just it's kind of wild. And I wish I could give you guys something better besides be careful, maybe look at taking profits, because I mean, you get up to the all-time high, it's only $60 away right now. So, you know,
Yep.
I don't have a lot for you, to be honest. Like it's just take some profits or ride this out, move up your stop loss, lock in those profits, because I know a lot of you were getting into Sol down in this area. I do remember that. You know, the chat was getting excited when it was here. So you guys have probably 2x your money at this point. So just be careful, be cautious with Sol.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I do want to point out also, guys, we did have a poll up here, and 70% of everyone in here said they were bullish. So that's interesting. So evidently, the pullback is not happening. That will not be a thing. We will not see the collapse of $10,000 Bitcoin. You know, I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there like Crypto Savvy. He's going to be looking like this by the time that we see that Bitcoin pullback he keeps calling for. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, it definitely looks like it's just a typical retracement. So, OC, you got, I think you said you were taking up XRP for someone. Is that what you're doing?
AVAX. Yes, I got AVAX for Luna, which is
AVAX up. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's check out AVAX. Let's see what you got there.
Absolutely. So I have AVAX right here going on 4 hours. I already have closed my long here, and I close it almost as soon as we are hitting this trend line up here, and that we are having our or our first take profit check mark on chart prime. We are still pretty bullish, but I'll be looking for a possible retracement before and visiting the center of the channel before I reopen a long position. By the way, that was a 3x. Right now I'm moving low with my leverage. Just so you guys know, I'm going between 2 and 5x, sometimes now hitting the 10x. Why? I know we're pretty bullish, and for me that is a signifying that I will be making a little bit more profits, and I don't want to be moving so greedy. So that's why I'm pulling back on my leverage, opening a larger position there, just to be safe on whatever happens on the market, right? Just so you know, I'm not going crazy on leverage, right? But still playing out my strategy. So far, we are hitting some resistance. We already have it right here. Let me throw in there a couple of my indicators. If TradingView wants to work for me for some reason, it just never wants to work. All right, and whenever you're ready. All right, so seems like not today. All right, let's do manual TA just in
TradingView said, nah, fam.
Yeah, not today. Today's my day off. All right. So what I'm going to be doing is just doing simple support and resistances. As we can see, one here, very important one. I'm going to be throwing another one right up here, and finally looking for those gaps. Another one right there, and finalize something like that. All right. So finalizing something like that. All right, perfect. Now it's time for me to go back to the 4 hour to see if that now wants to play out and do a little bit of a zoom. As you can see, we have that area where we were looking previously on support and resistances. So that's what I'm not out of the bullishness, nonetheless looking for a possible retracement to play out there and going with that confluence zone. Also, I do see the opportunity for a possible reversal, just like we had in here, a little bit more prolonged, like in this case, and that will basically take us higher right here. Let me show it to you. Oh, not that one. Yeah, that one. Right here, and then with the double top right here, going for that possible retracement that I'm expecting to go all the way down here, and then maybe a blowout. And if we're lucky enough, breakthrough, retest, and off we go. Remember, we're still very, very, very bullish. So that's what I got on AVAX, and turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, if you jump over to my screen, I got Ethereum up. We're going to be taking a look at my second largest bag, Ethereum. My contender to my Solana bag here is not looking good, guys. We did lose the dynamic reactor, so that is a bad thing right off the bat. Typically, if we're below it, we're bearish. That's what happens with that. Right now, we do have the 0.66 of the golden pocket sitting below us. That 0.66 coming in currently at about $3,600, or excuse me, $3,500, and that is going to be where we have to hold. If we lose that, guys, we're going to be looking at coming down to 33.50 range on the 618 there. I do have a nice green T box here. Shout out to TA10 from the Investing Bros. That's going to be the range that I look at there on that T box for a bounce. But right now, we've got to hold this 0.66. If we lose the golden pocket, sadly enough, we could be looking down at the 50% Fibonacci line there. And that was not what we want to see. We want to see it come up here and hold this T box here. Let me pull that line back up there. Thank you very much. And then there we go. There's our T box. That's what we're going to want to hold there on that. If we take a look and see what we're seeing on the oscillators also, it does look like we're starting to get this. We did have a bullish divergence here, and that little bullish divergence did give us a little uptick, but we didn't break that dynamic reactor, which means, again, like I was saying, more downside coming for us to make another lower low like we did here and like we did here. That would be what we're seeing right here also on this oscillator. And if we get another down movement here while this is up, we're going to get another bullish divergence. Eventually, these will pop off and play. But right now, the sell pressure on Ethereum, not looking too hot. Sitting with two red candles on the RSI primed right now. I think we're going to have to see this come down and test this 0.618, guys. If I had to call it, that 0.618 sitting at about 33.25, 33.50 in that range, going to be where I would call your floor for you to get into another long. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that if Bitcoin decides to play nicely and give everything a move. Because unfortunately, this is Ethereum and not Solana or Avalanche. It is not defying the laws of gravity that is Bitcoin. So that's what I got there on Ethereum right now. Let's go back over and let's see what anybody's got a request for. TradeFly, did you see anything? Do you want to pick something up?
I got MATIC up right now. Kind of our daily routine.
Captain Jack MATIC in the house. Let's go.
At your service, man. This drunk sailor was acting a fool yesterday. All right, let's go ahead and take a look-see. MATIC on the 4-hour. Not looking pretty. It actually kind of aligns with what Piper was just talking about on his chart, right? So we were in this channel, and it was ascending. It was going up and right. All was well. We got up to our area. This was the target area we were looking at when it broke out, and it played out the cup and handle, right? But now you can see what was support is now resistance. That's not a good sign. And you can see it broke down. Same thing with the dynamic reactor. It's now flipping red. And where did it come back to? That key area we've been talking about for, I think, weeks now, the $1 range. So it got pretty darn close. It came back to about 101. And then just like Piper was talking about, you saw a little print of a bullish divergence. And so you got a little bounce off of that, but then it's now using the dynamic reactor as resistance. Not a good sign. You see the moving averages crossing over. This is one that I'd probably stay away from right now, right? Because what I would really like to see is probably another touch here and a continuation of the RSI going up and right before I would be comfortable with potentially looking at a long. But you also have the 200-day SMA here as well. And so there's a lot going on right now. This is probably one that I would stay away from. You're seeing a reversal in trend just on the charts if you're looking at the price action itself. And then it could very realistically come down here to the neckline that we had off that cup and handle and retest that area is probably what I would look at happening right now for MATIC. So if we push up high side area, you're probably looking at about 112. You got a lot of confluence here between all the moving averages as well as the dynamic reactor. But I'm expecting probably a little bit of a pullback for MATIC.
Yeah, I can see that too. For those that don't know, an SMA is a simple moving average. There's 3 different types of moving averages. There's the weighted, exponential, and simple. Simple is more smooth. So it takes the averages and it smooths it out more so that there's not so much volatility in it. If you want more of the volatility, look at like the exponential, and then weighted really takes those tops and bottom peaks of volatility and averages out that. So that's what the different moving averages are. So there you go. When you hear him say SMA, he's talking about a simple moving average. We had a poll up, and I'm going to read this for a second. But while we do this, excuse me, goodness gracious.
Bless you.
My desert sinuses are getting experiencing some humidity for the first time in a long time. So what I'm going to read this poll, but TradeFly, someone asked about how the liquidation map is looking on Ethereum. So if you can pull that up while I go through this poll, that would be great. What percent retracement will we see this retracement? And the poll was 12 to 20%, 20 to 28%, 12% hit this yesterday, or greater than 28%. Greater than 28%, 10% of the viewers said that, and then 12% said, or 15% said we already hit it. The number one, 12 to 20% coming in at 50% on that. Let's go ahead and jump over to TradeFly's screen. He's got that liquidation map going for us, and we'll take a look and see what Ethereum's looking like on the heat map. OC, we'll be coming back around to you, so get your charts ready.
Yeah, so taking a look at it, I mean, you have up here, we talked about this 4,000 range, right? And now it looks like liquidity is starting to build up at about 4,100. And again, that's kind of similar to Bitcoin. People are taking this opportunity to short. And so that's why you're seeing this liquidity build up here. In terms of what's down here, though, like there's not a lot. So it's pretty much free movement for Ethereum. 4,000 was a psychological area. I'm not. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin. There's not a whole lot to take away from the liquidation heat map right now. I mean, if we were a little closer up to here, I would definitely anticipate some kind of like scam wick or a wick coming up here to clear out this liquidity. But we're getting a little bit further down, so you're really at this point kind of watching Bitcoin and watching the overall market to kind of base where you see Ethereum going. So there's no narrative right now that's really driving it outside of the rest of the greater crypto market. So yeah, not a whole lot to take away from on the heat map right now.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Let's kick it over to OC. OC, what you got for us, bro?
I got right here quick news. It says news: Putin declares victory in presidential election. Just turning off the Alexa in front of here. So Alexa, play some music for you guys in your house if you have an Alexa. So let's take a look here. I have Jupiter USDT because it's been just going. Yes, I know. That never fails. That never fails. So let's take a look at. Oh, this was AVAX. By the way, this is just to prove that where we enter, and I just called out AVAX looking for that retracement. But this is
nice.
Yeah, sorry, I turned on mine. So we have Jupiter USDT.
Oh goodness.
So, we have Jupiter here. We were looking at this area right here. Look at my entries right there. And also want to show you guys where was our analysis in 1990. What is it? 90-30 or something like that. There we go. That was again my entry. As you can see, we trade what we analysis right here. We our money is where our mouth is, right? So going all the way here, look at that amazing movement that we had on Jupiter, moving this projected target all the way here. We're looking at something as a hoping target of 1.96. Nonetheless, we are right on a rank 100% area. If you don't know what that is, it's a liquidity zone. So that liquidity zone is making us pull back hard. Not only that, let me go piece by piece so you can see. We also have a beautiful resistance up there. I'm taking 50% out at this moment and looking for a possible re-entry right there. Nonetheless, I mean, on the pullback, if we can have it, because I could be forming a double top or an M pattern at these areas, right? We are on previous highs, but I'm still looking for that possible target all the way up here at somewhere around 1.96. So Jupiter killing it. Jupiter killing. So hopefully you guys are following the Piper Academy for those amazing analysis, and you guys are killing in the market just like we are.
Awesome. I got PYTH up here. If you want to pull up my screen, ZTS, appreciate it. I had a request for PYTH from the community, and then we're going to pass this. We're going to do this real quick. We're going to pass it to TradeFly to close it out on QNT, hopefully. Can you knock that one out, TradeFly?
Got it
and
up.
then we will
Looking at
wrap
it
up
now.
the show. You the man. So, guys, taking a look at PYTH right now, you can see that we're fighting right now with the phase 6 golden pocket. These are fib-based trend extension golden pockets. It's what happens when we go into discovery zones, price discovery. And when we do that, there's no historical data. I'd like to use these phase golden pockets. So it's like the 6.618, the 7.618, so on and so forth. Right now, our resistance is literally that phase 6 golden pocket right there. It's also the bottom trade band of our predictive ranges. We are sitting below that. I would watch for us to come back down to the phase 5 here. That is also being furthered on the indicators here for confluence with the downward ribbon. We got the ribbon twist there. It's not too sharply declined, so I do suspect it to come down here and do a zero line bounce, giving a little cool off here on the RSI primed, looking for the past 8 hours with red candles there, kind of running flat. Watch for this to come down. If it does get this hit here on the phase 5 golden pocket, that would be where I'd look at for that pump up there, giving us another bounce. Unless we are able to close a candle above the phase 6. If we do that, guys, easily heading right up here to the top blue line, that would be the delta median of the predictive ranges, coming in at $1.28. But again, it's going to have to get that candle above there to retest that phase 6 before I would say that. Right now, looking at phase 5, that is coming in currently at about 97 cents for your bottom side target. That's what I got on PYTH. Kick it over to TradeFly. Let's knock out some quantum and let's talk it out.
Let's do it. All right. I got quant on the daily right now. So this area we talked about, I believe, last week at about 152. That's an obvious area of resistance for you. Overall, though, if you're looking at the trend is definitely bullish. It's continuing up and right here. As long as we maintain this area of support, I would consider this to continue this trend up and right. So you're basically seeing a little bit of an ascending triangle here, right? So typically, that's a bullish pattern, and it's more likely to actually break out to the upside. So we'll see if that plays out. Let's go ahead and actually look at the oscillators here. It does look like you got a little bit of a bearish divergence, at least printing out. So price
got
went
that
up.
peak seeker too.
Yeah, you did. You got it. There it is, man. So
Mm-hmm.
that thing is, I'm liking that. It's funny that I've seen the blue dot and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like I just saw it as kind of like a reversal indicator, which essentially is what it is, but I didn't know the actual name of it. So yeah, and that prints and look, you get this nice little drop here. So let's go ahead and measure that out real quick. Yeah, I mean that's about a 10% move. So I think it's pretty money. Overall though, trend is still looking all right. Short term, yeah, it looks like it's pulling back a little bit. What you don't want to see is basically a series of higher lows or lower highs. You don't want to see that start to form because then you start getting worried. But right now, that's this area right here. I mean, look at all the confluence you have as well. So you have
Absolutely.
all the moving averages, you have the dynamic reactor, the 200-day, and just this area, this trend line of support. So that's kind of what I would look at. Like if you're not in the trade and it's something you're interested in getting in, when it comes back down to this area is probably where I'd be more interested, somewhere around about 112, just thinking that the line is going to continue. And as we work down, maybe somewhere. But if it gets underneath of all of this and then you start to see it form as resistance, then you might take a step back for a second. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Overall, trend is bullish right now. Like I said, as long as we don't lose this.
Cool. Well, I like it. Let's go back to TriCam. Let's talk it out. Guys, thanks for joining us today. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, get notified every time we go live. This is how we grow, guys. This is how this. Let's this lets YouTube know that you guys like this content so that they can recommend it to other people. So help us out. Hit that like button. And if you are new here, hit subscribe. You'll be part of the alumni. We're family here. TradeFly, OC, you guys got anything for the people on the way out of the show, man?
Yeah, the only thing I got is hey Alexa, who is the best TA show in the morning? I'm listening.
Hello, TradeFly. That would be Piper Academy. Yeah. Thanks, man. OC,
Go.
what you got, bro?
Guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of your comments. Also, hit that like button because if you do, your wife will not make you take out the trash today, and you can be joining the best classes ever. So, throwing it back to you, Piper.
Let's go. Guys, thanks for joining us here today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you guys always, always, always. If you guys have any interest in supporting the show and you need your taxes done, check out decrypted.tax down below. Get a free consultation, 25% off your services. Also, check out Aviation Coffee. Get that bougie coffee in your coffee cup in the morning. Fuel your brains the same way you fuel your charts. Let's go. Fuel those bags. Let's get it. Guys, thanks for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!